Welcome to Hello Main Street. I am your host, Monica Sanchez. This is where we talk about tips and tricks and thought provoking ideas for fellow business owners just like you. So let's get started. Today, we're going to be talking about financing when you're buying a business. So there's plenty of options out there to choose from. So don't get overwhelmed, but let's talk just about a couple of simple ones. One is to go to your bank. Banks can either be a local bank or it can also be a lender that may be outside that focuses solely on selling business, buying businesses. And with that, there's even SBA banks out there as well. And then we also have nonprofits, just like Vizions, and we've talked about them once before. So that is another option. Or you can have them carry a seller note. What a seller note does is you would come to terms of agreement with the seller. Then they would say, yes, we are willing to finance you for an X number amount of money for the term of, X number of years. And then the interest rate would depend upon what you guys agree upon. So that is also another option for you. And then another one that you can consider is your retirement money. So if you have a retirement account, there are other organizations out there that are willing to take your retirement money and then put it in towards your business. So now essentially you are helping to raise capital for your own business in that way. So that's another option as well. But today, just to keep things simple, we're going to talk about banks. Okay, so that is usually the traditional route that everybody goes. And it can sometimes be a little tricky or feel a little overwhelming. So let's just break it down a little bit further for you. Okay. So usually people tend to go to their local bank, right, downtown or what have you. And they may be a little bit on the conservative side of lending money. So just be aware of that. So if they give you a no, that doesn't mean no 100%. It just means where else can you find some financing, right? So again, let's talk about SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, and that is part of the banks as well. And you can find those either locally or you can find them also through Google or what have you. There are several out there, and we can always discuss that if that's something that you would want to talk about in the future. So for this purpose, let's go ahead, dive into what you would need for a bank. So a bank's going to want to know, like, what kind of experience do you have in this industry? So they're calculating what is the risk that they have to get involved in order for you to own a business, right? So they're going to ask those questions. The other thing that we want to keep in mind is that you are going to want to get specific documentation from the seller. And this is going to help with, it's called a pre-flight approval letter. And with that pre-flight approval letter, this is basically, think of like when you go to a lender and you want to buy a home. You want to get pre-approved in order to put down the money and say, yes, we have the money, we have the financing to be able to go ahead and back us for this business. So same concept, all right? So what are things that they are going to need to know from the seller? They are going to want to have at least the last 3 years of tax returns. So that would come into play. They're also going to want to have at least the profit and loss for that year. So for example, right now we are in November. So if you were to get not a purchase and sale, if you were to get the profit and loss, then you would want to get from January 1st until the end of October 30th. So that would be a good one you would want to receive and then pass on to your bank. So what's the bank going to ask of you? And this is all just the beginning. They may need more information than that. So don't feel overwhelmed if they're like, we need more, okay? Excuse me. What they're going to want to have from you is your last 3 years of tax returns to see what that looks like. And if you have own a business, they're going to want to see that. And then they're going to want to see your personal side as well. They'll want you to do a personal financial statement, which basically gives them a breakdown of where is your cash, where's your credit, and where's your debit, right? Where do you have monies at, whether it's a home, whether it's tied into the business, whether you have a cash in the bank, those types of things. They'll want a resume of your experience, again, in the business, because they'll want to make sure that you are somebody that is worthy of being able to pay this back, and can be credible for it. Okay. And then the last thing they'll want to do is get a credit report. They'll want to see where you're at with that piece, in order to move forward. So those are the things that I just wanted to go through with you today. Again, I'll recap it one more time just so you have it, is that you can get financing through a bank. You can also go through nonprofits. You can have the seller carry a note for you, or you can use your retirement money. Or if you have money stashed under your mattress, you can use that as well. So cash is always king, right? So if you are in that process right now and you're like, I'm stuck, I went to my local lender, they're saying that they can't approve it, yet I have years of experience in this industry and I really want to go ahead and purchase this business to move forward, give me a call or let's talk. I'd love to help. That is something that I do, and we can go from there. So also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. Give us a like, give us a shout out. You can also find me on Instagram, Monica Sanchez, NIA. Would love to help you, love to talk with you, because as you know, we are always better together. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.